Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with Tom Chenault, Adrian Chenault, and our good buddy, Richard Bliss Brooke, who is in a heck of a studio setup.
Look at him.
I thought this was a podcast. This isn't a podcast?
No, that's what you're doing. But this is a radio show. So we do podcasts on top of that, but the podcast can't do radio on top. And that's why we feel superior to you, Richard. Thank you so much for bringing that up. How you doing, man?
If I got any better, there'd be two of me.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there kind of are. There was an echo there. So that was
I heard that.
I was looking at you standing next to Thomas Tidlin and Donna Johnson on a picture a couple of days ago. And I noticed how healthy, how fit, how vibrant and happy you looked. What's going on with you?
Well, what I do is I just ask my friends to give me affirmations. If they would just... Is my audio messed up?
No, you're good. We hear you loud and clear.
I just asked my friends to give me affirmations about that. I noticed that too, standing next to Thomas Tidlin. I looked actually skinnier than him.
I know. Right? I was shocked.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
And in there, you can't trick photography, that stuff.
No, it's amazing.
Well, good for you. Whatever you're doing, you're married to a great woman. The happiness emanates out of you. And I'm happy about that, Richard Brooke. But that's not why we wanted to do this show. And Michelle Griot pointed out that we just had you on December 3rd. What could he possibly have done since December 3rd that you brought him back, which was really, really cute. But why we want to do it was because we know that we're walking into a new administration right this minute. And it is slippery slopes out there. And we wanted somebody that was really, really, really good at understanding the big picture to talk about it, because I know for a fact that you have updated the manifesto called the 4-Year Career. And I want to know what you're doing with that. I want to know the state of the union of network marketing. And there's no better person to go to than you. So I love you. Take it away.
Well, we are, as of at least one executive order this morning, we're in full-on whiplash into full-on unregulated Federal Trade Commission. Katie, bar the door, make whatever claims you want. The government is sound asleep at the wheel, fostering entrepreneurism at the highest level. Time to get rich. That's what's going on. And the last 4 years, it's like, you can't say anything about money, can't say anything about anything without getting sanctioned or getting a hate letter from your company. Why is that? Well, the Federal Trade Commission was quite empowered to regulate false claims. And as of yesterday, the Federal Trade Commission is empowered to not regulate false claims. So it's going to be the wild East, West, and Midwest for the next 4 years, which will, of course, create all kinds of chaos, all kinds of alienated prospects, all kinds of failed companies, all kinds of hype, all kinds of misrepresentation, and more bad branding for network marketing. But a lot of people will make a lot of money. And then, of course, we'll probably all react to that 4 years from now, and we'll elect people who will regulate us again. I, for one, like moderate regulation. Keeps everybody sane. Network marketers, we just have a little bit of rambunctious entrepreneurial spirit in us, and left to our own devices, we will kind of mess up our nest.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, we're famous for that. So I'm a big fan of regulation, not over-regulation. I'm a big fan of regulators who actually understand our model and our profession, regulators that give us a fair playing field. If your local casino can have billboards all over town saying, pull this lever and get rich, we ought to be able to say, work 30 minutes a day, part-time basis and make an extra $1,000 a month. Teach 100 other people to do it and make 100 grand a month.
Yeah. Yeah. So the pendulum swings yet again. We're now into the Wild West phase of the motion. And so in the absence of something or someone else coming in there and, stepping into that space, probably overstepping in that space, because usually when the pendulum goes the other way, they do a whole lot and they get a whole lot wrong too. How do you think about how people of influence in this space can try to keep us on the rails instead of flying off of them over the coming years?
Well, we can talk about it like we are today, but we all kind of know the reality. People are who people are. And when there's money on the table, we tend to get the worst of people. So, I as opposed to trying to rein in the profession, I would maybe encourage people to take care of their own business.
There you go.
Like, just model your values and what's important to you. And what we all know, that those of us that have been around for decades and decades and decades, is what goes around comes around, and the whole industry works in cycles. And those people that go nuts the next 4 years, making claims, promoting products they shouldn't be promoting, doing whatever they're doing because the regulators are not present and accounted for, they're going to get karma, and they're not going to be here 30, 40, 50 years from now. Tom, there's not, how many years are you now in this profession?
27.
27. I'm 47.
I know. Well, you're much older.
Yeah, I know. 20 years older than you, which, I look good for 90, but, it's all about your own journey, right? So what I like to tell people is, is this a sprint for you? You're trying to see how much money you can make in a short period of time, and then you don't really care what happens after that. And if so, you're going to promote products that sound like they sell themselves and have all kinds of sizzle. And you're going to ignore the companies that have been around for 20, 30, 40 years that have proven if you build it, they'll pay you. And you're going to look for a startup, and you're going to look for somebody that's claiming we've reinvented network marketing and we're going to be the next $1 billion company. And so there'll be all of that. And unfortunately, people that tend to take the sprint in network marketing, they tend to burn out real fast. Either they burn out themselves, they burn out their reputation, they burn out their money. They certainly burn out their network and their credibility, and they're looking for something else to do. And then there are those that we know, Tom, they're like cockroaches, right? Every 18 months, they're promoting something new as though it's the first company they ever discovered in network marketing.
I think a lot of those guys, a lot of those generic trainers are going to all of a sudden come out of retirement and go into a company again. It just happens all the time, you guys, and they leave footprints. And Garrett McGraw has a great line that I use all the time and don't give him credit for. But going broke enthusiastically and taking other people with you is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
If you can get away with it, because when that balloon blows, and I was in one of those, and that balloon blew up, and I am telling you what, there were bodies everywhere, and it was a terrible day to this day that I was involved with that deal. Troy Dooley publicly said, shame on Tom Chenault. He should have seen the iceberg like the Titanic. And that was hysterical because there was no way to see the iceberg, nor could I have turned the Titanic. But that's the kind of shots people take at you when you do that. So it might be tempting. And do you remember that Romamio guy that you were so mad about years ago with the guy with the Ferraris and all the jazz? And yeah, that was about 5 years ago.
Yeah, where's he?
I have no idea, but you were so mad because he was making all kinds of statements that he was getting away with, and you couldn't believe it. And we might be going back into that new season. And it's a bad season because somebody's going to take your hardworking distributor and sell them a bill of goods about turning a dime into $1 in a week.
Yep.
And we can't have that happen. And that's why it's so important that you rewrote the 4-year career. Would you agree?
Well, I did rewrite it. It was time to update it, and it had been sold out for a few months. Of course, I procrastinated, and it took me 2 months to rewrite it. But it's at the press now, and all new data, all new companies on the list, a fresh new focus on ethics and integrity and longevity. And, I think I kind of came up, you asked me what I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to talk about network marketing as the greatest wealth building model on the planet. And I got to, provide the caveat to that. That's if you're not starting out with $10 million, right? If you start off with $10 million, you have all kinds of options for building wealth. But for people that are starting out with $500 to $1,000, what's their wealth building strategy in life? How are they going to do it? And I just don't know a better model on the planet. In fact, there is not a better model on the planet for, I'll call it the average person economically, socioeconomically, that doesn't have millions of dollars to invest in a business. How can they create millions of dollars in wealth? Well, if you're clairvoyant enough to buy, 50 Bitcoin 10 years ago, but who's clairvoyant, right? The average person is not clairvoyant in the stock market or crypto or anything else. So how do you do it? I'll tell you how you do it. You find a product that you authentically love. That's number one. You authentically love it, meaning you would sing its praises whether you got paid a nickel or not. You actually love the stuff, and you'll buy it and use it every month and flush the remains down your toilet. Did you want to interrupt me?
No, I'm agreeing with you, and I'm also looking at my hand on my shirt because it looks like I don't have. Is this the funniest thing you've ever seen? Keep going.
He has got the attention span of 1/2 of a goldfish. I'm going on my rant, and he's thinking about his black shirt, right? There's Tom Chenault for you.
Keep going.
Yeah, well, all right. So let's say you find a product that you absolutely love. Well, if you love it, think about it. If you actually love it and you love the value proposition, meaning somebody charges you $150 a month for it, and that's cool. Oh, look at you guys. You're like children.
We're paying attention.
We're paying attention, James. I'm producing a show over here, Richard. You're welcome.
So if you love it, stands to reason other people are going to love it, right? And if you're smart enough to think, okay, if I actually build this, if I'm smart enough, motivated enough, maybe even fortunate enough to build something, how long am I going to get paid? Right? And people don't think about that, right? They just think, how much money can I make and how fast can I make it? And what kind of hero or heroine can I be in the process? They don't think about, if I'm actually the 1/10 of 1% that build a team and build a customer community, how long am I going to get paid?
Right.
And the answer to that is look at history. How long has the company that you're building been paying people? If it's 6 weeks or 6 months or even 6 years, that's high risk, right? That's like buying a penny stock, putting all your money in a penny stock. I'm not saying it couldn't work out. I'm just saying it's super high risk. And the smart people in network marketing that are starting out, they find a company where the company won't be the variable, where the company's not a crapshoot of going out of business. If you want to get paid for 30 years after you build it, find a company that's been paying people for 30 years. Because what that also means is the product lines that company curates are products that will stay relevant for 30 years. So often in the last 10 years since technology has come along, we see things that are, technologically fascinating, services or some kind of tech or something, and we go build in something like that, and it becomes irrelevant in a year or two because things change so fast in tech. But when it comes to nutrition and beauty and health and living a long, vibrant life, those kind of products don't change that much. And so if you find a company that will pay you forever, here's the last point I want to make about wealth building, and then we can chop this up however you want to, is if you understand the value of the income and you understand where the income comes from. So let's say you build a team of 1,000 people, 1,000 active people that are doing $150 a month. Some of them are sales leaders, some of them are customers, doesn't really matter, but that's where your volume comes from. So you got $150,000 a month in volume. But how much of it comes from you personally? 150 of your own.
Right.
How much of it comes from the customers that you personally acquired? Oh, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 1,500 of the $150,000 worth of volume. The rest of your volume comes from these 1,000 other people. It's like owning 1,000 franchises. If you owned one franchise personally that you showed up to every day, but you got a cut on 1,000 other franchises, which would be worth more? Yours or the 999 you got a cut of? This is the way network marketing works. We take that income and we split it up amongst 1,000 different raving fan customers. And if you do that with a product that'll last forever, you can get paid forever. And that kind of income, it's the last point I want to make about the income. So I don't know where you guys keep your cash, but I keep my cash in a bank called CIT, C-I-T. You can look it up in Google. I'm not promoting it. But right now they're paying 4.5%, $5,000 minimum deposit. Pull it out whenever you want. It's just a savings account. 4.5%. That's the highest in the nation.
Right.
Might be one other bank right now is paying 4.7. That's a high. And most major banks are paying 1% or less. 4.5% is a lot of money to be in an FDIC insured account where you can't lose it. Different from the stock market. But $1 million, if you put $1 million in Citibank, it would pay you $3,750 a month. How long does it take you and I to build liquid assets worth $1 million cash that we could park in Citibank? A lifetime. A lifetime of scrimping, going without, saving, investing wisely, going without mostly. A lifetime to get $1 million. You park it in a Citibank, you get $3,750 a month. And you could build $3,750 a month in a year in network marketing if you put your butt in gear and promote the right product and promote it with some reckless abandon, like your hair's on fire. And if you do it in the right company with the right product, you get paid that $3,750 forever, as though you left that $1 million in Citibanks. Called the rule of 200. I've got an article about it. Maybe I'll post it.
You have to.
That's my rant.
Okay, so let's assume one of these people is making $100,000 a year in their network marketing business. Company's been around for at least 10 years. The check is held at that $100,000 a year, maybe gone up a little bit, gone down a little bit over that amount of time. What is that business worth in your opinion?
Over $2 million, just by the model I just gave you. You'd have to have $2 million invested at 4.5%, 5% to make that kind of income. Now, could you sell it for $2 million? No, you can't. Why? Why would I give you $2 million? It'd take me a lifetime to accumulate for something I could build myself in 2 or 3 years. I used to coach a lot of dentists on their financial freedom. Used to recruit a lot of dentists into network marketing and teach them how to get financially free in network marketing. And the reason why they were so interested is they may make $500,000 a year as a dentist, $1 million, $1.5 million. But the only model they had for retirement was to sell their dental practice. So there's a huge industry coaching people to sell dental practices. Right. Except if I'm making $500,000 a year, I've got to sell my dental practice for $5 million, $10 million to maintain the income, the lifestyle. And these guys and gals, they don't want to retire when they're 70 or 80. They want to retire when they're 50 or 60 so they can still golf. But nobody's going to pay you $5 million for a dental practice because they can build their own. Same model. So you can't sell it for $2 million, unless maybe you're making $2 million a year. Network marketing distributorships tend to sell for about one-time annual income, maybe two if it's serious legacy income. Not because they're not worth it, but because the buyer can build it for way less. I mean, imagine you were an investor network marketer and you had a couple of $100,000 to invest in launching a distributorship in a company of your choice. You know, the way you and I did it, Tom, we didn't have $2,000 to invest.
Right.
But imagine you had $200,000 you could invest in whatever, advertising, social media, videos, marketing, travel. You can build one of these things at light speed if you just do the right things over and over and over and over and over again. It's a deadlock cinch you'll build it if you do the right actions over and over and over and over again. And people with money can automate a lot of those actions, as opposed to how you and I did it and most other people did it by hand, which takes a long time and a lot of work. That's a pause. And you guys, as interviewers, when the pause comes, what you need to be ready with is the next question.
We're flabbergasted
and these kind of things is death.
We thought it was a glitch. Heaven forbid there would be a glitch in your system, but we thought it was a glitch, not a pause. So, yeah, do you have a question for me, Adrian?
So I totally believe in this model. I totally believe in this idea that you are that you're creating the value of network marketing. The only reason I actually think to do network marketing is because you believe in that creating that recurring income.
Totally. Otherwise, it's just a job. And if you are looking for a job, if you're looking for a hustle, there's a lot of ways to get a little bit of money faster than you're going to be able to do it in network marketing. Here's the number one way. This is what we're competing with in immediate income. So think about what it takes to make $1,000 a month in network marketing, immediate income.
Right.
That takes a lot of hustle, a lot of work, right?
Yep.
And we're competing with this guy or gal. Yep. They sit in their car and their phone dings.
Yep.
And they look at their phone. They drive their car going up here, turn right, 3 blocks, turn left, go 2 blocks, stop. Somebody gets in the back of the car. I don't even have to talk to them. Right? My phone starts dinging again, telling me where to go.
Yep.
Go up here 2 miles, turn right, go half a block to the left, then go 6 blocks to the right, stop. Somebody gets out of my car. Ding, 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 I get paid.
Yep.
I can live in my car with a 64-ounce big gulp and make $1,000, $2,000 a month.
Yep.
So we don't compete well with immediate income options. I can work at Walmart 2 hours a day and make $1,000 a month. Welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Walmart. Welcome to Walmart.
So here's the question, right? Because all of those options exist, because people have short attention spans, they want immediate reward, all the things that exist in the world, how do you break through that narrative and show someone the promise of what the network marketing model has to offer without getting into a bunch of hype, without getting into a bunch of stuff that is going to get you in trouble or leave somebody disappointed because it didn't happen the way you told them it was going to? How do you do that well?
A rich question answered by, in part, the coffee shop interview. So I know what worked for Tom and I was not hype, not making promises. I didn't have enough confidence to make those kind of promises. And I wasn't really sure how to back them up. So I gravitated, as Tom did, to the art of conversation, the art of curiosity. And we just learned to ask people questions and listen. And so, Adrian, if I'm just asking you questions and listening, I don't know what the questions are. They don't really matter what they are. If I ask questions and listen, if I'm listening, I'll know the next question to ask.
Yep.
If I'm not listening, I'm going to get hijacked. You're going to be staring at me going, aren't you going to ask? Don't you have something to say about what I just said? And what I end up doing is asking you the same question I already asked you because I'm not paying attention, right? Yep. But if I'm paying attention, I'll know the next question to ask. And here's a fact. If you just ask people questions about their life and you listen, and then you ask more questions and you listen, whether you do it in Tom's coffee shop or you do it on an airplane or you do it in chat on social media. If you ask and listen, ask and listen, ask and listen, without selling, without asking manipulative questions, but curiosity questions, because you just want to know who the person is.
Right.
They will tell you exactly why they want to build an income with you. They'll tell you their dreams. They'll tell you what's missing. The reason Amway is the #1 network marketing company on the planet and has been for the last 50 years by a factor of 2. They're twice as big as #2. Why? Not because they sell products, not because they're all about product knowledge. They have great products, obviously. It's because Amway distributors were taught by Jay and Rich to sell people the dream. Find out what people's dream are and then sell them the solution. So here's the challenge that we have in building. First of all, if you want to do well in network marketing and you want to do well for the rest of your life, you've got to pick a product and a company and a culture and people that are marathoners, not sprinters. If you join the sprint crowd, let me show you how to enroll 30 people in 30 days. You will fail. I promise you. You may, 1 out of 1,000 people may enroll 30 people in 30 days, but the other 999 will stand around going, this doesn't look like this is for me. And the person who does enroll 30 people won't know what to do with them because that's too many people. It's the wrong model. It's a marathon. If you run a marathon, and shameless plug, this is Kimmy's book, The 4-Year Career for Women. If you study this model so that what you're selling people on, what you're educating people on, what you're enrolling people on is the legacy income, the generational income that they can create through falling in love with a product and just telling their story. 3 basic things that we do to build this. Use a product you absolutely love. Recommend it to people that it's a good fit for. And then invite people to take a look at what we're doing. You don't have to sell them. Just ask them to look.
Yep.
Look at a video, read a book, listen to some testimonials. Just look at what we're doing. And, it may only be 3, 4, or 5% of the people you talk to are interested, but you only need 4, maybe 3 to build an empire in network marketing. You don't need the whole world. If you'll learn to master that and learn to have the conviction about how the model works and why the model works. The 4-Year Career is not about how to build in network marketing. It's not a how-to book. It's not a GoPro book. GoPro is how to build. 4-Year Career is not at all about how to build. It's why to build.
Right.
Why does it work? How does it work? Like, convince me of the model. This is a book for prospects. This is a book for new distributors who are trying to learn to believe in the model. So if I ask people, hey, right now, if this was a Zoom and there were 100 people on it, in a company or a bunch of companies, and I ask them, hey, can any one of you, who here, raise your hand, if I turn the Zoom over to you and I asked you to give me 15 minutes without notes on your favorite product? I want to know where it's made, what's in it, what does it do, what are all the features and benefits, what's all the science, what are all the patents, blah, 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 blah. Who can give me 15 minutes on their favorite product? If I got 1,000 network marketers on a Zoom, they all raise their hand.
Yep.
They don't need notes. They don't need to prep. Just flip the switch and go. They can nail it for 15 minutes on their favorite product. How many of you can, without notes, take 15 minutes right now, take over the Zoom and lay down the law on how and why network marketing works? Sell me on the model. Educate me on the model. Not with hype, but with information, with math, with physics. How does it work? Why does it work? Compounding is what makes the wealth building work. And Einstein said that's the 8th wonder of the world, compounding. You know, if you take a penny and compound it 100% every day, double it every day, at the end of 30 days, it's worth $5 million. 1 penny. You double it every other day? See if I have any good students in the audience. Drop in the chat if you remember how much a penny is worth if you double it every other day. People are always wondering, why am I working so hard and I'm not building what I want to build? One of the primary reasons is our definition of working hard doesn't include consistency. We're not doing it every day. We do it every other day, every third day, whenever we feel like it. Whenever the last person said yes, then we'll do it. But if the last person said no, we curl up in a fetal position on the couch and suck our thumb and blame everybody for why it won't work. And we end up doubling the penny every other day. Thank you, Marty Noss.
She got it first. She's the winner. They all came crowding through the doors after, but she send us
your address. We will send you a free contact mapping sweatshirt.
There you go.
It's an unbelievable day for her. It'll say something like, fire your brain,
hire your heart.
Look at me. This looks so nice.
Oh, you are so fascinated with your black shirt.
I can't believe it. All right. So here's the deal, you guys. And here's another text I got. Did Richard Brooke stop wearing glasses because he got tired of people saying, "Are you Tom Chenault?"
No, I got rid of glasses by having both of my corneas, I think, replaced, which is optional surgery at my age, which was about $8,000 an eye. Took 2 seconds. And I was 20/20 right after I did it. And I did it because I was spending $2,000 a year on glasses.
Yeah.
That I just burn and churn through. And I got tired of it. And so that's why. And I did that like 7 years ago.
Okay, so I see my glasses now. I put these frames on just to look more like you in the old days.
Now you look like Seth Godin.
Well, Seth, speaking of, anything going on with him?
Yeah, it's launched. I haven't really promoted it yet, but
what is it?
My interview of Seth Godin.
That's impossible. You interviewed Seth Godin.
Of course I did. You know I did. Don't act surprised. You don't fake it very well.
I know, because I have asked Seth Godin 50 times to be on my show, and it is nothing but a hard no instantly.
Hard no. He hates network marketing.
It's unbelievable. Instantly hard no.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So
I asked him at least once a year for 10 years.
That's awesome.
And, if you listen well enough, Tom, and you ask the right questions, sooner or later they come around.
Oh my God! Thank you for that
so
mentorship.
Much. That is so good. Oh my word! Can people pre-order the new version of the book, Richard?
Yeah, send them $50.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a great point.
All right.
I'll tell you how you might know though. If you went to my website and you made sure you were on my email list,
there you go.
I'll bet when it hits the warehouse, someone sends an email saying, you can buy this book now.
Okay.
RichardBrooke.com.
Put Armand's comment about thousands of people and Richard being a legend back up. I want to talk about Armand and him a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm a little mad because he busted us so bad, but hold on. Let me go.
Armand busted us?
Yeah, he said, you idiots, when somebody pauses, you're supposed to ask a question.
Well, yeah. Well, after
Why don't you have Armand come on and be like a guest host? Because he is the real deal, Holyfield.
He is, for real.
Yeah,
There's the real deal.
What was so exciting about him, the other day I was watching him on Facebook, and it was all in Spanish, so I didn't understand a word. And it struck me how badly I wanted to be on that bus full of all those joyous people going wherever they were going to do whatever they were going to do. Because that exemplifies this business. It did not look like corporate America. It didn't look like anybody in the bullpen. It looked like people absolutely on fire about their life and their dreams. And there's Armand on the bus with them, just smiling from ear to ear and hugging everybody on that bus. And
I'm telling you,
that's what it takes.
He makes all the rest of us look like wannabe amateurs who spend all their time on podcasts and radio shows mouthing off.
Yeah.
He provided me with one of my greatest memories ever. I don't even know if I've ever told him this, but he and I had lunch once down by his office in his home. And I don't know, I don't know if I drove. I think I drove because I was driving anyway. So he comes to pick me up in this 2-door convertible red Rolls Royce.
I know.
And we're in like Corona, California, or Ontario, California. I don't think there's any Rolls Royces in Ontario, California, but Armand's is there. And he takes me to this local dive Mexican food truck restaurant.
Love it.
And anyway, I love him. He is, he did it as a sales leader, and now he did it as a company owner, and now he's doing it 10x as a company owner, and he's doing everything I ever dreamed of doing.
Yeah. And by the way, he picked me up in the new Rolls Royce SUV, which was like $500,000, and it's just got like movies on the ceiling. The guy makes you feel like you actually matter. And he shows you what's possible in this crazy business called network marketing. We've had him on here many, many times. He's a big friend of the show. And what he does is what you did, is what I did. But most other company owners and most people think that it's impossible to just absolutely talk to 2 people every day, document it, compound that penny, not every other day, develop that muscle, sell the product out of the truck if you have to, but do the work to get the result. And that's this business, right, Richard?
Yeah. And it is that simple. And it's also that mental.
Yeah.
And if you want to feel how it feels in your body to be a professional on-fire network marketer that's building, reckless abandon, lost their mind, they're nothing but heart on fire building, here's a hack that can put you in their body. Just imagine that your network marketing company changed their compensation plan. Now there's not 12 different ways to earn and all these legs and all that. So there's only one way to earn. It's illegal to do this, but imagine they did it. They're going to pay you $1,000 a day, 7 days a week. That's $30,000 a month. And all you have to do is ask 2 people a day if they'll take a look. And no is a perfectly acceptable answer. No, I won't take a look. In fact, we would expect that 90% of the people you ask will say no. You don't get paid for the yes. You don't get paid for recruiting. You don't get paid for selling. You get paid for asking. $1,000 a day. You just got to ask 2 people. Now, you'll be able to, in the body of an on-fire networker, answer these 3 rhetorical questions that a not on-fire networker poses to themselves all day long. Well, who do I talk to? At $1,000 a day, who do you talk to? Notice how the answer is just, I don't know. That'd be anyone, Bob. Right? Now, you don't need to make a nuisance of yourself because you only need to talk to 2, right? So it's not, you don't need to do the 3-foot rule. It's just 2 people. You go find them on social media, find them in your contacts, find them in your high school yearbook, find them at the mall, find them anywhere. Just ask 2 people, hey, will you look at what I'm doing? It doesn't even matter what you say, right? You could say, hey, I'm doing one of those pyramid things. I'm trying to get up on the top. My sponsor's on top. There's, a lot of money to be made, but most people fail. You want to take a look? You would get enough people to look if you asked 2 a day. And then the second question people ask themselves that are stuck in their mental mud is, well, what do I say to them?
Yeah.
So for $1,000 a day, what would you say? Here's the answer. You don't know. Armin doesn't know. Not in that moment. And he's on fire. So he figures it out in that moment.
There you go.
Might be just a question you ask. And the third rhetorical question that people stuck in the mud ask themselves is, well, what do I do if they say no? Your company's paying you $1,000 a day to ask 2. What do you do if they say no?
Talk to somebody else.
That'd be next, Bob.
Yeah. I think this is the best show. And I've interviewed you 25 times, 20 of them by myself and 5 with him, they were great with him. But this is the best interview you've ever done. And I think the middle of this show needs to go to every network marketer on the planet, because he talked about the numbers and why it makes sense to understand the network marketing model instead of how many this or that are in your product. And thank you, because I'm telling you, you touched some lives today. And I think your book, The 4-Year Career, is already a classic. And I think the latest iteration, we've got it, and again, we've got Armand on here and a couple other company owners. It's going to start with the company owners. If the government's not policing us, and it's the wild, wild west, it's got to be the companies, and it's got to be our own internal guide of morality and integrity to keep people from saying stupid stuff that ruin the business. Don't you agree?
Yeah, and the truth is enough. You can actually use a well-done income disclosure statement. You can show a prospect, these are the percentages of people that earn these amounts of money. And as you can see, only 1% make any money at all. And now let me ask you, Tom, are you a 99%er or a 1%er?
That's what I agree.
And I just used the worst thing a networker ever wants to show a prospect, that statement that shows nobody makes any money, used it in a way that the prospect says. And if they say I'm a 99%er, I'll say, thank you for saving me a lot of time, right?
No question.
Because this is a business and income model that anyone can do. I mean, if your company paid you $1,000 a day, could you ask 2 people to take a look? Any idiot can do this. But hardly any do. Why? Because it's a mental game. It's a motivational game. It's a belief game. You have to believe with every cell in your body that the work is worth it, that it'll pay off. If you have any doubt about that at all, you'll cave. You'll bail. Prospects will eat your lunch. You're roadkill.
Tell the truth. Okay, so the lady whose name is about 45, she's got 4 names. Put that up. Who is she? Can we send her a contact mapping t-shirt? This woman is your biggest fan, and I want her wearing Love Like Crazy, Then Love More everywhere she goes. Would you please tell her to
She has been a student for over 10 years.
I love her.
Her team does about $100,000 a month.
Cool.
In a 30-year-old company.
Awesome.
And she's a rock star.
One more thing. I know that you did a kind of a test tube on a very old established company that was not in any kind of momentum whatsoever. You got the company owners behind a concept. Tell people real quickly, because we're running out of airspeed here, what happened when they followed what you said to do to the T for a couple of months. What happened?
They had, and this is a relatively small company, but been around 15 years. They had close to 100,000 people in a 60-day period look at their products and opportunity. And that was just the result of a program coaching about 300 sales leaders to ask 4 people a day to take a look. That was it. 4 people a day. Just ask. That's it. Do it for 60 days. They ended up getting 110 to hit every day for 60 days out of 300 that started. You miss a day, you miss one person, you're out. They got 110 to hit 4 a day every day, all tracked through an app. So it was an objective monitoring of the effort. And it increased their enrollments. Highest enrollments in the month of December they've ever had as a company, 15 years old. In the month of December, we started November 1st or November 25th and went through December 23rd. Recruiting in November was up almost 200% and finished in December, highest month in the history of the company. Over 100,000 people in a small company in a 60-day period saw the product and the opportunity.
Wow. So how do people get hold of you and get into a training like that if they weren't in that company?
Well, I teach people from all companies twice a week live. The digital course they go through for 8 weeks. It's $300. And then I teach them live twice a week. And I also coach companies on doing that.
Is it an affiliate program?
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of affiliate programs.
Unbelievable.
I don't want your distributors selling my product. I'll sell my product. You sell your product.
All right. Just asking. Gee, many Christmas. Don't shoot the messenger. All right. I love you, Richard Brooke. This has been so much fun. And I love you. I'm going to come to Hawaii and hang with you for a few days and just channel my inner Thomas Tidland. I'm very excited about that. And thank you.
Thank you, brother. I love you. Adrian, good job with your dad. You've done a really nice job raising him up into his senior years.
We're
proud of you.
Great show. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.